on me.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel, Not There Yet, the Shan series, episode 3, titled Law School, What You Need to Know Before You Apply. Now, before I get into the video, I'm going to give you all a rundown about what we're going to talk about, so that way you know what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the requirements to get into law school, the major you need to get in, the letter of recommendation you need and how many, the LSAT score, picking your perfect law school, the type of law you want to practice, the CAS fee, the application fee, the seat deposit, and the cost of living. Now, I should have put this in a specific order, but one thinking. But that's alright. Let's just go with the order that's given. Alright, so law school requirements. You have to. I don't care what nobody say. You can't get nothing done until you take that argument into writing. You got to have it on file before you can even see your LSAT score. You got to have those two done. When you take your LSAT score, take your LSAT, I do heavily recommend going to the testing center because so many things could go wrong at home and you don't want to take that long ass test over. Take it. Take it from me, I promise. Alright. So there is no specific major to get in law school. I just feel like your undergrad should kind of coincide with the type of law you want to practice, so that way you will have some general knowledge already going in, so you won't have to learn from scratch. That's just my opinion. Like, I'm majored in criminal justice, so it will make sense if I went to criminal law or anything else, but I'm probably going to go into corporate and do big law, but we will see. Let's see where the road takes us. Alright, letters of recommendation. You have to have at least 3. Well, at max 3. I feel like they should come from your professors because they know you're on a more academic level. Like, I think if you got a good relationship with your boss, it can come from them too. But if you got one of them funny bosses, I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, LSAT score. Now, there is no specific LSAT score to get in law school. Let me say that again. There is no specific LSAT score to get into law school. I hope you're listening. Now, if you're trying to get a scholarship, then yes, it definitely matters because some of them are merit-based, which is based off, your financial background, and then some of them are based off your academic background. So it just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Okay, so like for example, Howard, I think it was last year that there was like a 162 LSAT and a 3.2 GPA gets you a full tuition. Now, UDC David A. Clark, on the other hand, they like, well, we don't punish you for your LSAT score, but we're going to look at your overall package, and then you can probably qualify for a full tuition that way. I like that because the LSAT is really to a measure intelligence. Like, baby, what's the point of the test? Because we're not going to do anything with this once we're done with it. I'm telling you. Test almost $300 you're not going to need after you take it. Alright, picking your perfect law school. I feel like your law school needs to be a school that's well known for like the type of law you're kind of trying to practice. I feel like that looks really good. Everybody's saying if you don't go to these top law schools or these T14s that you shouldn't go. I don't think that matters. Because if you don't know it, you just don't know. Like, some people might look down on NCCU and be like, well, this is a Harvard grad, they might know more. But I might know more than a Harvard grad. Alright. So, the type of law you want to practice, that just depends on what your passion is, if you ask me. My passion is helping people and making money. So, I thought about family law. I thought about criminal law. I thought about sports and entertainment. I thought about just being one of those lawyers that just work for a company and just keep them afloat. I thought about that as well. But I don't know. Let's just kind of see how it goes from now to me finishing. Because to be honest, I'm going to really take the first law job that comes my way. I'm not going to lie. Probably going to end up practicing some boring like sex law or whatever so I can get my bag and I can be retired by 50, baby. Because, baby, I'm not retired on 60. No. Hopefully, if I play my cards, try to make the right investments, I can be retired at 45. But let's just see. Alright. So the CAS fee, no matter the school, is going to be $45. Now, the application fee, it varies. It's going to always vary. Every school is different. Some schools don't have one, like CCC Humphrey School of Law in Memphis. They don't have an application fee. But they have a seat deposit. I think the seat deposit is like $200, something like that. Some schools are $200, some are $250, some are $500, some are $1,000, some are $2,000. Like, it varies. And I'm just like, that's a lot of money. Like, you going to spend my money before you get in. Like, golly, like, this is to keep all the broke folks out. I'm starting to see why broke people don't go to school. So, something that we really, really, really do not consider is the cost of living where you go. Especially if you are going to be a full-time law student. If you are going to be a full-time law student, I say wait a year or two, stack your money. Like, depending on where you go, I would say stack at least $40,000 to $50,000. because that money from law school's not going to come right away. I think it's going to wait a week or two, or some schools might give midway through the semester. I don't know. But you don't want to go there and then you got evicted. So I would just say, if you stay ready, you got to get ready. So Stanford Law was on my list. Like, I know California expenses. That's why I'm like, man, $50,000, I can say that. You know, if I go in and grind, do what I got to do. But now that the big beautiful bill has limited the amount of money we can get a year to 50,000, I'm like, the school a year, oh, I think a semester, whatever, it's like 100,000. Like, girl, no, you got to pick up options. You got to be realistic now. So that's when I dropped my list down to the list that I gave y'all last week. So I'm just like, what if I did want to go to HBCU law school? Which I do, but you know, if you know and I both know that HBCUs are severely underfunded. So that's why I kind of put some PWIs on my list, if we being honest. But I definitely do want to go to one. Now, luckily for me, UDC got full tuition. FAMU got full tuition. What's the other school? Thurgood Marshall has a half. Southern and NCCU, I think they go up to 35%, which is fine. I think that's a good amount as well, because something is better than nothing, because some people ain't getting nothing at all. Also, let me see what else on this list. I think that you need to put some money back beforehand for the application fees, especially if you got 20 some schools on your list. But then you start to think like, what if I apply for all 20 schools and let's say it's ranged up to like $2,000 in application fees, but then you don't get into none of them schools. That's a lot of money that you lost. And I can't lie, I'd be pissed, because I'd be like, none of you took me, but I did notice that a lot of people don't get into none of the schools. I'm like, what is your personal statement saying? Because a lot of schools are LSAT specific. So I'm like, they can't be don't really get yours. I'm like, why don't you be specific about what's going on? Because I be watching these law school channels, and this lady there was in Howard admissions for Howard Law. She was like, talk about why you took a gap year. Talk about, she like, if you got some bad grades on your transcript, explain what went on. She said, we want to know what how you got here. So I'm like, you know, but that makes sense, because I'm not a person that want to get vulnerable on paper to strangers and in the hopes to gain sympathy to get in law school. But hey, if that's what they want, why not give the people what they want? But I just feel like that's pandering, that's panhandling in the way. Like, why do I have to tell my whole story? Why can't I just talk about how when I was a little girl or I was a grown woman, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer? Why do I have to get real deep? Sometimes it might not be a deep meaning behind it. Now, if you practice a certain kind of law, like criminal law and stuff like that, then I understand. But if that's not the case, then why does it matter? Also, I do feel like you need to have a strong support system in this, because this stuff is mentally taxing. I promise you, my best friends have been degraded during this time. Like, you don't even know. Like, I remember crying to myself, like, oh my God, they won't take my score. Is this for me? Like, I was feeling defeated and feeling like, maybe I just need to find something else. Now, my backup, I'm going to be honest, is to be a psychologist, because that's something I want to do as well. But that just depends. If I'm going to apply for law school early admission, and I'm going to apply for law school regular admission. If I don't get in either time, then I'm going to go apply to get my Psych D. Because at this point, y'all playing trying to take my money, and I don't roll like that. Not saying that I'm going to get in there a whole lot easier, but I do need to consider other options. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to spend the block and come back to law school, because I'm not going to stop until I get that done. So, but yeah, back to the support system. You need to have your friends and family supporting you. Like, now, if they don't support you, that's fine too, but you need to get them from around you, because you're doing something that's going to be mentally taxing and strenuous. And I've talked to some people that has been in law school where they dropped out or they finished or whatever, and they tell you, if you don't have support, you don't want nobody with fake love around you, because it's going to make it even harder, especially when you need to vent, and then you can't go out and stuff like that. You got to start missing family events because you're studying. If they don't get that, they don't need to be in a circle. And I'm like, you know what, you're right, because I'm like, well, I didn't have really much support in undergrad, because I didn't tell nobody. Because I didn't want nobody discouraging me about my dreams. And I'm like, it took me forever to figure out what I want to do in general. So for you to like put a big damper on my dreams and just rain down hell all on it, I can't rock with this because of my feelings. So that's why I really didn't tell nobody I was going to law school. But I said, you know what? I was looking at TikToks actually. And it made me think about, not thinking off subject, but it made me think about how they share things on there, but they're not getting to like what we do before. They just be like, oh, you gotta take the answer, you gotta take this, you gotta do that. But you're not giving me the in between and telling me how you feel and how, you know, what you did to get through it. I felt like I could bring that and give that to some people, because It's like everybody just want to show the glitz and glamour of getting there and getting in and out. No, I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and ugly. I might get on camera crying one day. You know, if it get real, real bad. Like, I'm going to share with y'all my law school acceptances and denials. Like, all of my, I even shared my LSAT score with y'all. And that was not easy because I was, like, contemplating, should I do it? But I'm like, that's part of the process. They got to see you give score low so they'll know that you can score better. But to be honest, the only part about the LSAT that's hard is it's just so many questions in a short period of time. It's a lot of reading. That's really it. I think I could have did better had it not been timed. But anyway, that is all for now. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please turn your notifications on because I can't keep texting y'all. But matter of fact, before I go, because I don't know how I forgot this, I didn't know my playlist on YouTube Music was public. So y'all can see my music. So I'm like, I got 400 some views on my music playlist, but y'all ain't rock with my videos. See, it's like y'all want to hurt me. It's like y'all want to hurt me, but I'm not going to let you. But you know what? That's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe.